So I think it's October 22nd. I don't know. I don't keep track of the date, but something like that. And even though it is about 15 or 16 degrees today, the winter is coming on. It's inevitable. Temperatures will drop, snow will come, roads will ice over, all of that. And most of us put our bikes away for the winter, except me. And I'm wondering how many others. I ride all year. I don't ride this bike all year. I wouldn't. But I do ride the CRF 250L. So when I ride in the winter, I find that I'm in the minority. I rarely see another motorcyclist out riding. And I'm just wondering, all of you guys out there who live in a four seasons climate, where you have ice and snow in the winter, do you ride? How many of you do? I suspect just a few, but I'm wondering why you don't ride in the winter. I mean, maybe it's bike related, you know, because like I wouldn't ride a nice road bike like this in the winter. But a dual sport that I take up in the hills and bash about, yeah, why not? I find winter riding is invigorating, you know. You got to ride when there's no ice and snow on the road, you know. You get a lot of days like that in the winter, and those are the days you can ride. But the temperature makes it very different from riding in the other season. You feel completely alive when you get home because you get this blast of cold air. And I figured any riding is better than no riding. I'm also testing out the setting on my camera today because I've been trying to isolate the source of a problem that I see in recent videos. Most of the videos from the last month. I'm being picky, but I see there's some issues once they get uploaded that weren't there before. So I'm tweaking this and that, trying to figure out maybe if I can correct it, then I will. If I can't, then I'll either accept it or move on to another camera. I know when I purchased this camera, I was also considering the Sony, FDRX 3000, something like that. And I believe that's a good one, but I like the drift for the battery life. I mean, I get 6 hours solid recording time on this one battery that's on the camera. And all the other features of the drift that make it very convenient. But gotta have good video, so we shall see. I hear Hero is coming out with a GoPro 8. So that's another option, but I sure wouldn't want that on a helmet. Anyway, see what we can figure out here. And there's Knox Mountain. Great place to hike right in town. My goodness, I've been in this town, Kelowna City, for, since 1975. Unbelievable, eh? I moved here right from London, England. And I moved to London, England from Windsor, Ontario. But this is the best place. I love London, but I mean, this just offers so much more. So much access to great natural areas. I mean, it's just all around you, eh? And if you're on two wheels, can't beat it. Especially if one of your bikes is a dirt-capable bike. Speaking of Ontario, there's an Ontario license plate right there. Ontario, yours to discover. I lived in the southern part of Ontario, the most southern part, in Windsor. So right across from Detroit, Michigan, across the river from downtown Detroit. Yeah, less than 2 miles away. So Ontario, in that area, is mostly farming cities, but mostly farming in between. Very little natural wild areas. Yeah, I love nature. And when I was a kid, even though there was no forests around me and certainly no mountains, I always found my way to some natural area. It was usually only a field by the railway tracks, that sort of thing, but it sufficed. It was all I knew. Then when I moved to England, I went to a lot of the British forests. Very different from the forests here in BC. Their forests were like you stepped into a Robin Hood film. Sherwood Forest, very picturesque. Not as wild as you get here. Traffic lights seem so long sometimes, eh? Well, you know that old saying, a watch pot never boils. Thing is, I watched one once, and it did. Go figure. And I was thinking the other day how lucky I am in so many ways, you know. I mean, just living where I do and not having any serious problems, you know. I have my issues, but nothing serious. And being retired, I mean, that's completely awesome. Not having any debt, stuff like that, you know. I mean, I could easily have debt. I'm not wealthy, that's for damn sure, but I just choose not to have debt. And without debt, a smaller income goes a long way. So I'm thinking to myself, man, that's pretty fortunate. Very grateful for that. A lot of it because of choices that I made. But I'm able to make the choices that I did, so here's that. A lot of people are in a situation where they can't make the kind of choices that maybe I've made, and I understand that. But I think a lot of times life comes down to having courage and a sense of adventure, and then that allows you to and inspires you to make choices that you otherwise wouldn't, and those choices open new doors and on and on. I would never have come out here if I didn't have that going for me, that sense of adventure, just taking off and doing something unexpected. I moved to England when I was 19. I didn't go there with anyone, no family, nothing like that. I just bought a plane ticket and didn't use the return half. So I guess that took some guts. Didn't feel like it to me at the time, though. It just felt like an adventure. That's what it is when you're young. You know, you got that resiliency and such. When you get older, a lot of people lose that sense of adventure that they had when they were younger. I think the trick is don't lose it. And if you feel you are losing it, then do something unexpected. I think one of the most liberating things is just that, doing something unexpected, because a lot of times we get caught in other people's conceptions, you know. We look at ourselves in the mirror of how other people see us, and that's no good. It's too limiting. So to break that, if you find yourself in that situation, just do something very unexpected. Put people off their stroke. Shake their judgments of you. And that is liberating. Ultimately, the only way to make sense of life is to just be who you are. Just be who you are, not who you think you should be according to what other people think. Don't measure yourself by someone else's yardstick, right? Because when you get to my age, you realize how short life is, and there is an end to this life. So you may as well make it what you want. May as well be true to yourself. Be who you really are. Anyway, my goodness, this talk has gotten philosophical. That's pretty easy for me. That's something I've done all my life. That's who I really am. And the clouds are coming in. Sun is gone temporarily. So I'm going to go up here a ways and continue my ride. So thanks for joining me. Put your thoughts in the comments below. Ride safe, have fun. And I hope to catch you on another one.